Have you ever counted how many times, in countless days and nights, you have quietly placed your own needs, desires, and true feelings behind the expectations of others, beneath the standards of society? Have you long been accustomed to playing a qualified role in front of people, a good child, a good employee, a good partner, someone who always considers others, is always proper, but who has never truly lived for themselves? Imagine standing in front of a mirror, your tired eyes reflecting a face both familiar and unfamiliar. You try to ask yourself, what do I truly want? What kind of life does my soul deep down crave? But this question often flashes through your mind, only to be immediately drowned out by work pressure, family responsibilities, friends' requests for help, and countless glamorous others on social media. You are pushed by an invisible force, running forward involuntarily, yet never truly pausing to feel if the ground beneath your feet is the land you desire, or if the direction ahead is your inner calling. Do you always feel that if you just give a little more, sacrifice a little more, conform a little more, you will win everyone's approval and achieve true peace and happiness? However, I ask you to pause now and allow a profound and revolutionary voice, like a lightning bolt piercing your consciousness, to strike your soul. What if this seemingly altruistic facade you pursue, this pattern of putting yourself after others, is actually a huge trap, a cage you have built for yourself with your own hands? What if Carl Jung, the great thinker who delved into the deep mysteries of the human psyche, meant his resounding adage, when you finally learn to put yourself first, the world begins to change? Not as an advocacy for selfishness, but as the only path to true wholeness and power. Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try to please everyone, to meet every expectation, an unspeakable emptiness and exhaustion still hover deep within you? Does that subtle, nagging discomfort, that sense of lack that no amount of effort can fill, make you begin to suspect that the virtue you adhere to is actually quietly devouring your true vitality? Are you pursuing external applause or the call of individuation from the depths of your being? Is this so-called key an external tool waiting to be discovered, or a deep state of your own being? Are you pursuing superficial quote-unquote validation, or the quote-unquote self-realization from the depths of your soul? Why do we so instinctively view quote-unquote self-sacrifice as a virtue and quote-unquote self-prioritization and quote-unquote as selfishness and quote-unquote? This is not a simple moral choice, but is rooted in the deep mechanisms of the human brain and the collective indoctrination of individual behavior by social culture. From a psychological perspective, our brains are naturally wired to crave belongingness, quote-unquote. Humans are social animals, and acceptance by the group is a primal drive for survival. To gain this sense of belonging, we are taught from childhood to be obedient, sensible, and not to bother others. The brain's reward system, e.g. dopamine release, feels pleasure when receiving approval and praise from others, which further reinforces the people-pleasing behavior pattern. This external reward often stimulates us more immediately than internal authentic feelings, making us habitually prioritize others' needs over our own. Over time, you no longer even need external commands. Deep within, your mind automatically runs this pleasing mode, suppressing your true desires into the depths of your subconscious. Secondly, the over-sanctification of dedication in social culture further exacerbates this inner conflict. In our shaped values, selfless devotion is the noblest quality, while self-love is even stigmatized as selfishness. From childhood, you are surrounded by countless stories, maxims, and role models, all telling you that a good person always puts others first. This singular value system subconsciously forms a cognitive bias in you. My worth must be demonstrated by fulfilling others' needs. Therefore, when you try to shift your attention to yourself, a strong guilt or shame immediately arises, as if you are betraying some sacred mission. This internal moral judgment prevents you from truly connecting with your own needs, from giving yourself unconditional love and acceptance, thereby trapping you firmly in the cycle of living for others. A deeper reason is that you may have never truly connected with your true self. Jungian analytical psychology profoundly points out that each of us has a deeply hidden true self, or core self, which is the most authentic, unique, and wise part of your inner being, representing your potential and life direction. However, to adapt to the external world, we often develop a persona, which is the role you play in society, an image presented to be accepted. When you are overly invested in playing this persona, constantly conforming to external expectations, you drift further and further from your true self. You suppress your authentic voice into the shadow, preventing those traits, desires, and emotions that do not conform to social expectations from being seen and integrated. This alienation from your true self gradually leads to a loss of inner guidance, making you feel lost, empty, and even fragmented. The love and devotion you offer are often not born from inner abundance, but from a desire for acceptance and a fear of abandonment. You think you are giving, but in reality, you are seeking external validation to fill an inner void. This mode of existence, where you place yourself second, acts like a silent, chronic illness, profoundly and subtly impacting your life trajectory. Firstly, it leads you into an endless cycle of emotional exhaustion. You are like an empty cup, constantly pouring water out, giving excessively to meet others' needs, yet never replenishing yourself. In the long run, your energy, patience, and creativity are depleted, leaving behind profound fatigue, irritability, and burnout. This exhaustion manifests not only physically, but also deeply in your mental and spiritual layers, causing you to lose interest in everything, even feeling a numb emptiness. You may carry the superficial label of a good person, but your heart is devoured by an endless sense of depletion. Secondly, it causes you to lose the perception and trust in your inner compass. When you habitually rely on external standards to guide your behavior, you gradually ignore your inner intuition, values, and true desires. You no longer trust your own judgment, but overly depend on others' opinions and societal evaluations. Every decision you make feels like a compromise made to conform to some external expectation. This long-term neglect of inner signals distances you from your core essence, leading to a profound self-alienation. You live as a tool, existing for others, rather than a vibrant individual with independent will, capable of self-determination and creating your own life. Your life, therefore, loses its unique color and direction. The deepest impact is that it causes you to miss the true process of individuation, thus preventing the realization of life's wholeness and richness. Jung believed that individuation is a lifelong journey for everyone to realize their potential and become their complete and unique self. This process requires us to confront the shadow, integrate the suppressed true self, and ultimately transcend the persona to achieve harmony of mind, body, and spirit. However, when you place yourself second, constantly playing a role that conforms to others' expectations, you impede this most core life evolution. You reject the call of your soul, stagnating in superficial harmony, missing the opportunity to reach higher life levels through inner conflict and integration. Your life, therefore, lacks depth and meaning. Even with worldly success, you cannot fill that void rooted deep in your soul. You were told to dedicate, but never taught how to become, how to awaken your life's most primal and powerful creative force. This tragedy is that you possess infinite potential, yet you exhaust it within the superficial cage of goodness. So, how can you break free from this second-place mode of existence? Truly answer Carl Jung's call to put yourself first and thereby achieve true individuation and life unfolding. This requires a profound cognitive revolution and self-reconstruction. Firstly, redefine putting yourself first as self-alignment and self-wholeness. This is not selfishness, but the deepest respect for and responsibility for your own existence. It means you need to embark on a courageous inner exploration. What are my true values? What do I most deeply desire in my heart? What kind of life do I genuinely want to live? This process requires you to peel away the layers of pretense imposed by society and listen to the whispers of your soul. When you find that why that deeply resonates with your nature, your actions will no longer be for the sake of pleasing others, but will stem from your inner truth. This alignment in itself is the greatest driving force. It transforms your empty giving into giving from abundance. Secondly, actively face and integrate your shadow. Jung emphasized that only when you bravely confront and accept those shadow parts you have suppressed and denied, those traits and desires you consider not good enough or socially unacceptable, can you achieve true wholeness. Your shadow is not an enemy, but your undeveloped potential and unreleased energy. Through meditation, journaling, or dialogue with a trusted therapist, explore those unallowed parts of your inner self. When you are no longer at war with any part of yourself, you can mobilize all your energy, forming an unstoppable synergy. This integration will reduce inner conflict and allow your internal energy to flow more smoothly. Thirdly, relearn the art of setting boundaries. This is an act of protecting your own energy and a genuine love for others. Setting boundaries means clearly communicating to others what you can accept and what you cannot tolerate, what you are willing to give, and what you need to protect. This is not about pushing others away, but about defining clear limits for genuine, healthy, and mutually nurturing relationships. When you dare to say no to what no longer serves you, you simultaneously say yes to your dreams, values, and inner peace. Initially, this might cause some external friction or discomfort, but ultimately it will attract people who truly respect you and resonate with your frequency, while naturally distancing relationships that constantly drain your energy. The ultimate insight is that your deepest, most lasting strength and satisfaction do not come from conforming to and sacrificing for the external world, but from your profound acceptance of your own wholeness and your continuous choice and commitment to your true self. As Jung predicted, when you finally learn to put yourself first, the world begins to change. This is not magic, but the synchronous response of the external world to your inner transformation. Imagine you are no longer a withered leaf blown by the wind, drifting aimlessly according to others' expectations. Instead, you are like an ancient tree, deeply rooted in the earth, with luxuriant branches and leaves. Your roots are deeply embedded, drawing the purest nourishment from the earth, and your branches freely extend towards the sun, unafraid of wind and rain. Every choice you make stems from your inner growth impulse, not external imposition. When you exist in this way, the energy you radiate will attract the sunlight, rain, and fresh air that truly resonate with you, while things that no longer nourish you will naturally wither or dissipate. Your very existence is a silent declaration, an affirmation of life's infinite possibilities. You don't need to prove anything to the world. You just need to be who you are meant to be. This deep alignment with the essence of life is your ultimate key to all achievements and the sole truth for living a complete, abundant life. Become your own center and feel the universe begin to resonate with you because of your choice, reshaping a world that belongs to you.